back to work. Sorry, I'm sorting through some little cups and lids and things. Alright. I need a little cup for mixing some of this plasta putty stuff together. I don't know what it's called. But it's like I don't think those big cups are wash anymore. I don't want to be so picky right now. And we have a little stick to mix this up with. Keep all my tools on a shelf behind me, so I gotta get up and move around a little bit. I also realized that today is the Super Bowl. Everybody's probably off watching that. Alright, so for this stuff, I like to dilute it, like mix it up with some water, and then the water kind of activates it. For the thicker spots, I go in and actually put the undiluted putty right in to fill like some of these really big spots. It needs to be a little more firm, but most of it, mixing it with water just lets it kind of flow into the seam a little bit. Liquidy. I like it more like a yogurt kind of consistency. Way too a lot. Note to self: add water after. Add way too much. I'm gonna make up a bunch anyway because this cave is gigantic. Probably just efficiency. way too quick. It'll dry too as you're working with it. This water will evaporate. So it kind of cleans up everything down. Faster. What I like to do, like I said, just makes it easy. You just kind of drip it down in there. Kind of flows into the crack by itself. Thick enough to hold its form a little bit. So this is just to fill the void. Give the resin something to sit on. So basically, I'm just kind of flowing this into these cracks here. Then I'm gonna go back and sand it all down. Then I'm going to brush a light coat of resin into this, like, kind of all over the area, to kind of give it a uniform, kind of resin consistency. And I sand that all down, blend it back in with the rest of the model. Like I said, this cape is good because it's like there's not a fabric texture to destroy. It's a big lob. Yeah, it's not a texture to really mess up, so I can really go to town sanding it. Pull that down anyway. You can't just wipe it up. This cape is a little easier to mess with, I think, to get into these little areas of sand. Like this all seems pretty reachable. Some capes, though, especially on like 1/6 scale models, those little crevices and stuff get super small. So getting in there with filler and then resin and then sanding it sometimes it's not always easy. So anyway, I'm just going through here and, like I said, putting the this plastic stuff. I gotta order a new bottle of it anyway. As you can see, I'm getting towards the bottom of this. So whenever I order some more, I'll get the name of it. I think it's like plastic putty or something like that. This is really good stuff. I also use milliput. I'll use green stuff. That green stuff putty. That's good stuff. Green stuff putty is more for like if you need to sculpt something. Like I need to replace a broken part or something, or I need to fix a big gap or something like that, or that's more for sculpting. This stuff, like I said, is more for sealing everything, or closing the gaps. This little crack is actually probably going to be all may help even it out though if there's like there is some separation between the pieces. Any filler will help great thing about this stuff. Just kind of wipe it off if you get too much on it. I suppose if you want to save yourself a whole bunch of sanding, you know, you can do this, but I'm going to be sanding a lot anyway. I look at it like I'm not getting out of it, so might as well just lean into it, you know. Yeah, you can sort of see it. It's actually filling the gaps pretty good. Then when I hit it with resin, smooth it all out, it's going to look nice. This is a big gap right here. You know, it kind of shrinks back, so you just have to kind of keep applying it. Some on this side. This is the inside of the cape, so yeah, barely gonna see it anyway. Again, like I always say, how you do anything is how you do everything. I'm not gonna not do this just because you're not really gonna see it. Got a lot of sanding to do on the inside of here anyway. There's a bunch of little support bumps and stuff. I don't know why I like to group my tasks together. I like to do all the sand all on one time, or fill gaps all at one time. I have them just because I like having the materials out and then I use them and put them away. I stay a little bit organized. Otherwise, I feel like I'm a chicken with my head cut off, you know, just kind of running around doing stuff, bouncing from thing to thing. You didn't get nothing done. I don't like that out. That would be a little bit of mixture. This stuff dries really nicely too, like pretty quickly. The reason why I like these, basically once the water evaporates away and the plaster kind of grabs or whatever's in this junk, it sets. It sets pretty firm in a short amount of time. Trucking. Down later, but that big puddle I don't know. Any place that's going to be a pain in the butt in sand later, down in that crevice. This one spot here is so uneven, I'm just going to kind of leave some of that filler. There's some voids there. Disparaging distance between the alright, let's get this big cape. My first quarter scale. Very excited. I feel like a quarter scale model is going to be a little easier to paint because everything's so big. Like, I'm used to 1/6 scales where, you know, you kind of have to get into really small, tight margins and deep painted details, even small. But I don't know, we'll see. I really love the textures on this model. The suit textures and all the stuff on Magneto. They did such a good job. That's awesome. The working time on this stuff is really nice too. It stays liquid for a minute. At least it stays workable for a minute, I should say. It does start to dry immediately, but it stays workable for quite some time. So far down into the crevice that the resin is going to have a hard time filling. It really fills these gaps nicely. I love these little sanding sticks. I got these on Amazon. They have a little pointed sandy tip, right here on the end, and then the other side's just a little wooden dowel kind of deal with a little pointed end. So it's really good for holding parts. You need to hold something, or in this case, mixing sticks, application sticks and stuff. Yeah, that's a pretty good find. I suppose I should do one of those affiliate store thingies. Put all the materials that I buy. List all that stuff, or at least have links to all that stuff. Because I remember when I was starting out, like figuring out what were the good things, like the good materials, what was worth the time, what wasn't. Figuring out like what I don't know, is worth the effort or not, I guess. There's some stuff. I tried so many things that were just like so not worth it. Such trouble. Ruin models. Of course, then by ruining models, you learn about things like paint stripper. You learn how to recover from your mistakes, which I think is also valuable knowledge. But if you're smart, you don't listen. You just listen to somebody tell you about it. You don't have to experience it yourself. All right, I'm gonna give that a few minutes to kind of set for a second. Got some holes to fill in the rock face. Oh yeah, so these are, I don't know if you can see them, but little drain holes here. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, so anyway, these you can see these little, you can clearly see them, these drain holes. I'm gonna patch those guys up. All right, so yeah, so same process as before. I'm just gonna kind of fill these gaps, these holes, and this is really just giving the resin a little bed to sit in, and then whenever I cure it with the resin torch, sand it all down, and see, like the hole's kind of concave, it's just kind of dipping in. I just want it to hold long enough so that let it dry so the resin can not do that. Easier to explain again. My plastic putty is also getting pretty dried out now. So it's a little thinner. Also, these are rocks, so they're allowed to be a little plunked up. You know, nobody's gonna complain. That's a big deal. He said, ooh. This might have to take a couple coats. Partially fill it. Actually, this is a particular instance where I'm gonna get some of the driest plaster. Buddy. In there. Cool. Yeah, now if it doesn't drip down in, good to go. Alright, cool. Let that stuff dry for a minute. Have any other holes to fill on the base part. Did everybody just hear me swallow the water? I wasn't looking at my audio channels. Maybe not. Maybe you didn't hear that. Maybe you did. I don't know. I apologize if it sounded gross. You know what? Let's look at some of these parts here. Let's look at some of these body parts now. I don't think I have any holes to fill. I'm usually pretty good about hiding the drain holes and stuff, but just for grins, actually, you know what? I'll clean this mat first. So I don't get my parts all junked up and stuff. I always keep alcohol squirt bottles around. They clean up, cleans up resin, cleans up paint. It's just a mild, cleaning agent, mild astringent. So it evaporates fast. And I buy it by the gallon anyway, so might as well use it. Right. There we go. Clean workspace is a happy workspace, right? I shouldn't say clean. It's tidy. All right, now waiting on that other stuff to finish drying over there. Gonna take a look at some of these parts, the body parts. Start doing a dry fit, checking stuff out, sanding down any spots we need to sand down. But for the most part, I've got them oriented so that there's not too many support spots on the parts. I feel like I've gotten proficient at that, orienting parts for printing. He's so muscular. Look at that. His muscles. Oh, there we go. What else we got in here? So many parts. Oh yeah, and then the logo part, the stuff that's got to go on the base. I think I gotta sand that down. Oh, got a bunch of support marks at the bottom. But anyway, these are the parts I need to look at next. Should be some really very, very light sanding work. If anything else. No, definitely. Those chunks out. Just putting all this out on display was not a good idea to actually be able to work. I think it's like a chicken leg. Crazy. Gigantic. Chicken leg Magneto. And stuff like that. You get beat up. All Magneto means. Right. Yeah, definitely gotta sand down those dimples. Work. Brothers. Alright. Safety first. Gotta remember these things. Alright, safety glasses on. Now we don't have to worry about losing eyeballs due to tiny shards of resin. That'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Catch that on my weekly sweep. Another thing, I feel like I shouldn't say that. Everybody's having to do their own thing. I was just gonna say that I really enjoy having my little workshop because it gives me like a ritual to clean it every week. At least every couple of weeks, maybe, depends on the project. I like to clean between projects, and then like at least every couple weeks give it like a good deep cleaning, you know. everything gets covered in dust because I forget to use my water. Yeah, everything gets covered in junk, you know. So I have it on my calendars for every first of the month, do a dusting day, and that's where I just go through all my models, all my cases, and just dust, knock everything clean again. And now that I've got so many statue spots without statues, that's so much to clean. But I enjoy it. Little things in life, you know. So like if you, I don't know, it's about respecting yourself. You earned it. You got here. You're doing stuff. You have things now. You should take care of them. That neck key down. That seems wrong. Oh yeah, where's his head? Oh, I got him on the other shoulder. Yeah, I keep the portraits. Well, I guess everybody does. But I like to do the portraits last. Yeah, if I'm doing skin tone, I just base that out. I'll go ahead and do that. But for the most part, I like to do the portrait at the very end. Kind of gives you something to look forward to. And I think that the portrait takes a little more focus than the rest of the sculpt, most of the time, because eyeballs and skin tones, try to get all that done right. That's where everybody's focus is going to be. Everybody's going to be looking at the face. The face looks weird. Like I said, this Magneto statue might have been a bad choice to start with in the first YouTube stream, because I might struggle with it. Because the majority of his face is behind a mask. So getting in there to paint is going to be a craziness. It's going to be mostly with a brush. I mean, I'll airbrush in like the base stuff, the base colors, but definitely be doing the washes and everything else. Brush style. If I can get in there, into paint his little pupils and stuff. I don't know. I might have to go with the old, just no pupil, white eye version of Magneto. His powers are all activated. Actually, it's probably a good idea anyway. That I feel like is probably more, I don't know, comic book accurate or something. Keep forgetting the wet time. It does help cut down on the dust, though. I like that. And like I said, it dries into like a little paste in the bottom part, and so it allows you to you can see the spots where you need to sand more. Gives it a little visual cue. Nice. Of course, it doesn't have to be completely flat. Not a masochist. Oh, I see that. I'm gonna torture myself. Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. Is almost ready. A little bit more. down there. Dropping my toes. Yeah, I got some misprint here on the back, but I think with this cape, actually, let me double check this. Yeah, with the cape, you can barely see it. And I'll sand it down so it's not so obvious. But I had some misprint back here in the back. Not worth fixing. If this was for a client, obviously I would fix it. But for me, man, all I got to do is run a little knife in there to separate it, sand down those bumps. Good to go. This 220 grit is great for massive spot removal. Sand down this key a little bit. Said in my other video, I always like to sand down the key a little bit. Sometimes I'll even take the nippers and just break them off. It just makes the key, the connection, you don't really, the bottom of the key sometimes is a little swollen because resin expands a little bit, And so sometimes it's just enough rise that will prevent the piece from making solid contact everywhere else. And it's sometimes easier just to get rid of the key, at least the top of the key completely. If I was smart, I would shave off all the keys when I'm doing the file setup. Just take a little planer cut tool and lop them right off. And I know everything would fit. Might add that to my workflow now that I think about it. And in my life. Can't tell if that's a misprint or supposed to be like that. A little higher right here. Give it a little dunk. No, it's supposed to kind of comes up to meet it. And I don't think that gap is worth trying to hide, so that's pretty awesome. Pretty tight. Oh, got a lot of back. I definitely gotta, see that hole right there? Definitely gotta fill that hole. That thing's, well, actually, yeah, I'm gonna fill it. You're never gonna see it because the cape's gonna be there, but I'm still gonna go and fill it. paste should still be, yeah, paste is still good. Wow. Back to sanding. Gotta be careful here because this 220 grit sandpaper is gonna wreck this whole front, or this whole back. But it'll look like battle damage. Yeah, you're not gonna even see this. I don't even know why I'm wasting the time. Oh, it's a little better. Do that down a little bit so it doesn't look so obvious. Change the blade on this Exacto. Seem to be cutting. Visible parts. I have a sheet 600 already cut. Gotta organize. I gotta figure out a way to organize the sandpaper better. Yeah, there it is. 600. 600. Gonna buff up Magneto's booty a little bit. Little dimple, got some little sport dimples. You guys want to listen to the sanding? If I point my mic this way, so you can hear it. Oh yeah, you can hear it now. But can you hear me? Yeah. Check my audio levels real quick. The other direction now. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust my lapel mic. There we go. How's that? It's probably better. Yeah, because I'm like whispering and yeah, there we go. That's good audio right there. Still working out the kinks. This is like my first, well, second, I guess, stream. My first stream, my first day of streaming. So there's still a lot of things I don't know. Like, I guess, what's the etiquette for taking a break? Like, do you just leave it on? Put a coming right back sign on? I suppose you could. I don't know. I'm going to do some research on that later. Yeah, so for these more visible parts, I like to use the finer grit sandpaper to knock down little dimples. This is a 600. Some people say you need to go down all the way down to like 1500 or 2000 or whatever. Yeah, I mean, maybe for something like metal or something super shiny, but for the most part, 400, 600, that's usually about enough for me. Weird little bumps, but I can't see them. Really little fine lines in the band of his waist here, and I need to get in there to sand it off. There we go, that works. About this romantic royalty-free lo-fi that I got running right now while I'm polishing Magneto's crotch area. I feel like I need something a little different vibe here because it's getting weird. That is good enough. outside where you can actually see it. I didn't realize how much you can actually still see his torsos on top. Sand. Alright, that was a lot. I didn't realize how much of how much of the top part of the waist ends up being seen. The torso is attached. There's a lot of that. I guess it's gonna, again, this whole bit's gonna be behind the cape, so whether it fix that hole or not. Go back in there and see that. Top edge is kind of noticeable. I definitely want to clear it as much as possible. Oh yeah, this corner. That was a bad spot. I gotta remember to relax my wrist position or my arm position here so that it stays on camera. I start to turtle in. sure this outer edge is nice and polished, because it sits, number one, it's going to be shiny, it's going to be kind of chrome, or well, look at that purple chrome, so it needs to be pretty polished, which actually reminds me I need to go in and use a finer grit sandpaper because I see the gouges. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, so I want to make sure that that is, you know, nice and smooth, because it's going to be kind of a shiny metal, so it's going to catch light. Yeah, I need to fill that hole first though before I go any farther. Tight because less to polish. Just gotta drop some resin in there. So. Alright, let that guy dry. Come back for it in a second. I'm ready to start resin coating the all the little holes and stuff. Alright, so did I sand the bottom of him already? Yeah, let's sand the bottom of him. Not perfect, but good enough. I think I want to do his body all in one piece. I don't know, maybe I do his upper body. Maybe I do his upper body in one piece. And then his lower body is a separate piece. Hanging and drying purposes, because yeah, he's going to be big. Yeah, that's going to be big enough. If I need to match anything up, I can stick it together temporarily. I'm just talking to myself, everybody, I'm sorry. I mean, I guess I literally am talking to myself. There's nobody on. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get these glued down. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't. He's going to drape over it nicely. What about this neck business? Yeah, I think that sits on like that. Oh, this is going to look so cool when it's done. I don't know if you can see that on, I don't know if that can show up on camera, but man, like the texture in this suit is really nice. So anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'll keep the neck ring separate, because that's gonna be like a metallic-y kind of deal. I think I'm gonna go ahead and stick these down, because I'll work on this arms too. Sure that one. Oh yeah, one of these hands is broken. Oh yeah, that's cool. Alright, I'm gonna start gluing these ones. Because that is what today is for. Prep day. I'm sorry, I was eyeballing these. Yeah, that's why I reprinted this hand, is because that Failed. This is the keeper. Stick this over with my paint tests. Here's the head, by the way. Pretty rad. Yeah. See, so much light on camera. There we go. Got better. That's okay. The lighting over here isn't as important. I mean, it is, but I don't want to blow it out. But at the same time, not showing you guys anything colorful yet. It's over on my other desk. Yeah. So anyway, this is the head sculpt. It's excellent. Got to get rid of some of all these little strings, little string supports. Yes, I still have on my safety goggles. One of these little flying threads of resin. You get one of those in your eyeball. That's no fun. That's no fun for anybody, except for baby girl. Now very, very carefully not break off this little helmet decoration. They're pretty solid though. I was saying earlier about minus grits of sandpaper. Yeah, this would be one of those instances where going up to like 1,000 grit sandpaper is probably a good idea. Same time, there's a little bit of texture to it, so like a kind of a rough metal, polished metal. I'm very happy with how this print turned out. think I said that before too. It's like I'd rather over support something and have the print be nice. Deal with the consequences, which this is the consequence. Pick all these little dudes out. So I'm gonna get some 1000 grit sandpaper. Where's that? That's 1500. That's fine. That'll work too. I know you're supposed to work your way up through sandpapers. Not time for that. This resin stuff is so soft that I don't know. I don't see much of a benefit of working your way up through sandpapers. Even the super high grit ones will probably remove more than what you want. So I find, especially for things that need to be like super metal polish kind of thing, like level. Just going right in with the 1500 grit. A little bit more. That's some of that Tamiya foam sand stuff. I should try some of that. Probably good for going around corners like this, actually. Yes, this is a prime reason to do this. I'm just gonna hold on to that. Where are those sponge papers? Yeah, so that's oh, I only got a 600. That's no good. 244. Get some higher grit sponge paper. All right, scratch that. Yeah, you can start to see as it dries, see where the dimples are. Actually, I am going to do a little bit of this 600. Just to get rid of the dimples. Now, 1000 grit, 1500, I should say. Just to get rid of any of those gouge marks or anything else that still be in from the first layer of sandpaper. It looks like there was a little bit of a stress layer right through the back there too, so the resin's a little bit different. This is the way the print is angled and how much it's pulled. There's like a little layer line. You're not gonna see it once the primer fills again, but I see it now. Ooh, I see all the broken parts. It's nice. It feels nice. Alright, here we go now. Alright, I'm gonna hit these little spots right under the rim of this helmet. Print dimples. I feel like it's a good brand for something. I don't know what right now. Print dimples is something to say. Oh, some more little boogers. Thing I do need to do is look at this stage, make sure to look at the models more closely. Once you prime it, you can see all the sort of little imperfections. Go back and sand, take that second step to sand it down so that I need to not be lazy about it anymore. The last statue I did, the Deadpool cable diorama. Not that I was being lazy about it, but it was kind of a warm-up piece for the year. I didn't mean for it to take all month, but that's what happens. I wish I could do this full time, I really do. But dude calls. So, I do what I gotta do, you know? I'm also very excited. I've learned how to do the little 5 o'clock shadow, the little stubble. How to do that well, much better than I was doing before. So, pretty excited about that technique to finally be added to my library, my arsenal. And getting here behind his little helmet decoration, and that down a little bit. I really like it. Got a print swirl right in the crown of his head, perfectly centered. That's gonna drive me nuts. To see where it is. I mean, once it's primed again, once it's primed and painted, you're never gonna see it. Well, you might actually. It's kind of pronounced. See if I can get rid of it. between the duration thing, so I want to snap off either one. And get my big chunky fingers in there. Come on. So it's probably better. Maybe go in here with a 100 grid anyway. What do I call them? Dimples. Or dimples. Alright. Let's get that tab. Ooh. Oh, places to snag. Watch out for that. Yeah, definitely. Maybe I can't do that again. A dimpled kind of texture on his helmet a little bit anyway, so it doesn't have to be perfectly smooth. You just smooth that out a little bit then. Dirt spreading duster. There you go. At least you can't. You did kind of cover up that swirl mark a little bit. I'll do a primering later, not tonight, but next session, and check the texture. A light dusting of primer will reveal. Yeah, then we gotta turn that key down. A light dusting of primer will usually reveal any spots you need to resand. Safety glasses on, right? Yep. All right. Look at this key. Just a smidge, so it's not making so much contact all the time. Nice. Like I said, if I was making this for a client, yeah, I wouldn't do that. I'd shave it down manually, with a file, and then probably do a magnet, for the head. But this is just for me, so that's looking good. Looking good. Get rid of that. that. I think we're good. Let's get your arms attached. What do you say, bud? You want some arms? I love some arms. That's the 220 joint. That's still good. I like this brand of sandpaper. It seems to do well. Yeah, it's full. Holds up to the water. Doesn't break down as fast as the other. See why it's a little bit more of a premium sandpaper. Or the piping or something. Yeah, the texture on this guy's suit is fantastic. Of course, I learned from Deadpool that painting this texture is kind of a pain in the butt too, because like when you go to seal it, you don't want to over seal it because it starts to fill in the texture, and you kind of start to lose it in sections. It's also very grabby. So, and you have to angle, you have to hit the pockets at angles so that you get an even coat. So it takes several coats to get paint on thoroughly with this super textured pattern. Man, it looks sharp when it's done. So worth it. 90-degree stick, or triangle stick. It's sanding out those corners. Bit of a rough edge there. That seems to fit okay. Contact. There's some little support dentils. Yeah. Knock those down. I'll lose the detail of this stripe piping now. Let's see. Good. All these pieces of bass done. Keys clean. Seat's good. That's a nice fit. All right. I'm definitely gonna sand that down. Goodness. right up in that corner, right where they shouldn't be. You gotta remember to stop putting supports in those little nooks and crannies, because sanding out the divots. I do. I definitely over support my pieces. But hey, what are you gonna do? I also need to take this hoodie off. It's hot. All right. There we go. That's better. That was loud. Sorry. Nope. Thousand grit or 1,500 grit. Buff up that. This one's gonna be the gauntlet. Work. It's kind of nice. Polished. Metal look. Now, so people getting new sand, you should try to move in circles. I don't know why, but swirl mark maybe more accurately levels a more polish effect. I don't know. That probably makes sense. No. Contact. This is also one of those choices where it's like, if I go ahead and attach this, it's fine, but how, getting in there in that little crevice to paint is going to be difficult. Couple that with getting in there to paint when it's attached to the body. At the same time, so much of this needs to be a uniform color, so I'm just going to go ahead and attach it. Waste resin, sanded resin. I forgot I gotta. I got to get up inside the glove area here. Little craters. Hands are always one of the toughest things to print because of the way the geometry needs to be oriented. You always end up with island starting points that are way up high. You know, typically it's on these little knuckles or anything, you know, overhanging. So with hands, especially clenched fists, there's always a lot of overhang. Otherwise you get flat fingies when they print. Nobody wants that. And that's what happened to that other hand. I had that misprint. It was because of the thumb. I did learn a cool trick though. You can hide the support. If you can hide the supports in a like in a seam, like kind of like along the ridge of around a glove or something like that, or like in the crevice of a, you know, like between where two parts come together. It's a good way to mask the support divots, you know, so it's a good way to hide them. You don't have to go back in and sand them down again. It's such a good model. I want it to be as perfect as I can make it. Not only because it's my first quarter scale, and my first YouTube project, but because it's just a good sculpt. Like, it's just a cool freaking statue. I love the pose. You know, I love the simplicity of it. Like, that's another thing too. Like, after doing that Deadpool and Cable diorama, I am never doing another diorama. It's too much background work, too much base. You know, it's like I don't know. Just the base becomes a whole separate project. I like to keep it simple, so I think I'm gonna keep that in mind as I move forward. Which is another thing, like for the, you know, for Wicked's modeling, they're in like individual models. They've started offering like simple bases and complex bases. That's cool. There's some things I still want to do, like a complex base. Like there's a Batman and Catwoman that they just released. I think would probably look good on the other side of my shelf or on the other side of my TV. And got like a big gas, like an old-timey gas lantern kind of in the back. And so it's like it's ornate enough to be cool, but not so much so that it's going to be like time-consuming. That one I definitely want to put lights in. I mean, obviously it's got a light built into it, so anything with the gas lantern is going to get a light put in it. This on there. Sanding it anymore is going to be a pain in the buttocks. I want to try to get everything I can right now. Same time, this is the under part of this fist. Really, I want to see the top. Filler, the primer is going to fill some of this a little bit too. Although the Vallejo primer that I use, it's got like some kind of flattening agent in it or something, but it really like flattens out on the piece. It looks great and it does well. It's exactly what a primer is supposed to do. But it settles so well that sometimes if the little support divot's too deep, it shows up. It actually catches the light a little bit, which is why I like to do a light coat of primer, first, and then plan on like one more round of sanding, because the primer will show you all the spots that you missed, and if you don't correct it at the primer stage, well, then it's just part of the project, man. It's just part of it. That's like if you leave a divot or you leave a something, an imperfection after the priming stage, you don't go back and do a second round of sanding and then a final prime. That's just no good. You're in for no fun later. It's not a good deal. I've learned that lesson finally, after ignoring my own advice many times. I don't think this key is causing an issue with its seating, but there's a little bit of a gap. Shut it. Clean that now. Dust. Wipe down. Good wipe down. Moisture, dust. Cleaned off. Gotta do some sticking. Nope. I try to always put my glue on the keyhole side whenever possible, because you can load up kind of around the keyhole, and if there's any overflow, it kind of gets pushed back down into the key. You don't typically need to go all the way out to the edge for any reason. If you're going to seal it, if there's a gap and you plan on sealing it later, you're going to do that with resin anyway. You're not really gaining anything by trying to push it all the way out to the edge. I want to make sure I got enough. It's heated so that it looks good on the front, because it's really where you're going to see most of it. Oh, that looks so good. Yeah, I'm not even going to worry about that seam. That looks fantastic. Alright, let's give it hold it in place for a few seconds. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. Oh, good. I lined up the stripe right there on purpose. Actually, I had no idea that stripe was there. Now that I'm looking, though, I'm glad that worked out. Yeah, same on the top, lined right up. Oh, did I miss something? Didn't maybe. Oh, I did. So yeah, that would have been one of those things that would have driven me crazy later. It's so rad. So stinging stripey. It's very dirty. I have to go back and wash this thing a nice bath, but I'll do that later. wasting my time. Let's get some glue on this mother effer, mother trucker. Sorry, turtling in. Gotta remember to work over my workspace here. Right. Actually, use the back to line this up because he's got this little bit of piping here that I want. Make sure it stays in line. Oh, that one grabbed quick. Lines, so I'm not going to even worry about fixing them. Looks tight. Came together really nicely. Another part of figuring out how to position model pieces correctly. Like anywhere you have complicated sections that you want to print perfectly without, with very little expansion, don't orient them at the bottom. If you orient them at the bottom, there's more pull. You get all your dimples where the sanding happens. There's just too much variation. So if you can orient your pieces so that the cuts are pointed up, the printer has an easier job, like printing these with more precision. Yeah, I kind of messed up. Like this, well, no, not really. I wanted this part to be the most flush. Yeah, so like this arm I printed facing down, so you see there are bits where, I've got to sand down the little dimples on top of that. And then there where the piping kind of comes together. Luckily that actually looks really, really freaking good. That actually came together quite nicely. So once I shave down these dimples, it should work out. It's getting there. Pieces are starting to come together now. Both these parts really well. Woo! I might have to go watch the sport ball game. Starting to get tired. A lot of work. This was the 600. Oh, let's see. That's a nice fit. I see what I mean? Like, that's just so thoughtful, having that seam, having the part seam run underneath the actual like fabric seam. So like it's so easy to hide. It's so easy to hide these gaps. Has to. Right. Let's get this hand polished. Got quite a bit going on here. Cut this way down. Trying to sand down in between there is a possibility, so I'm just going to make sure to dig out the corners there and be good enough. Over there, that should be able to reach. Surface. Not a whole lot of pressure. Just a light abrasion. All you need. I think I'm ready to attach these. It's all a nice bath later, but get out any little remaining dust, particulates or buildup or whatever, but that looks nice to me. Oh, actually, let me shake down this key because I think I did feel a little rub at the top. And trying to lose an eye. This is why I have to clean my shop every week. Little parts of stuff just explode. Go everywhere. Oh, that's nice. That's a good call. Piping stripe here to be clueless to the best alignment. And then of course there's a little notch. Stuff sits. Oh, there. Hold it 20 seconds. I gotta go back and sand underneath those fingies just a little bit. That's not a big deal. Get to when you're supporting stuff too, it helps to be strategic where you put the supports anywhere you can put them out, like not on the visible eye line, like how your statue is going to sit. Like in this particular instance, this side of the hand is going to be kind of pointed kind of down, even though it's up, it's going to be kind of underneath. So it's a good place to hide some support marks. Or at least it's a good place to, put the marks so they're not as noticeable. He's got really long fingers, so some of this stuff is just not going to hide. Really stick out. Not so much worried about support marks though. Can't really see them. I hit them along the seams. This will definitely be one of those spots that I check after the first priming. It's really hard to see where the spots are until after you got it. Way more apparent. Although I don't. There's gonna be too many. Break it off without gouging the finish too much. Sometimes the supports get a little too close to the geometry. Again, because of the resin expansion, you end up fusing. These weird little pieces of crud pick out. I think now that looks good. Oh, there's a knot over there. Holding your little hand, Magneto. I got you, buddy. We're gonna get through this together. Just you and me now. Alright, there we go. That would have led to a no fun interaction. All those little crannies. Probably doesn't good. Chop down this key a little. Lining up the piping. Top. Got some glue squidging out there. Smidge. There is the top half assembly. That looks pretty radical. I'm happy with that. I need bath. Some little things built up on it. All right, let's take a look at these legs. I think this might be it for the night because got the day starting Monday, got the day starting tomorrow, and you know how that goes. I'll make sure I'm rested and ready for it. This key is wonky AF. Oh, this is the key that goes inside of the base. So this key I actually do want to try to keep as intact as I can, just to make sure that there's plenty of support, because this little part is going to be holding up a lot of weight. I said this little tab, I mean, because it's like anchored in there, and of course everything's stacked up above that.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It'll work though, it always does. I'm just so happy these pieces came out as clean as they did. Very, very little, very minor amount of post work. Always the best option, you know. I'm very excited. The Cyclops, I just noticed on his waistband, and he's got those like utility pouches or whatever. They're like little X-Men X's on top of them, and that makes me laugh. Went to such detail. That really only I'm gonna get to see. Or maybe that's why they do it. I appreciate that. Appreciate the artistry that goes into making these models. I enjoy painting them so much. I feel like I gotta do them justice. And if I get to help other people learn how to paint and spread the, word about this hobby to other like-minded individuals, that would be a cool side effect. I don't think it's necessary to put the texture on the top of the keys. I know it's really like the fabric or whatever, but I mean on top of the pieces they get sealed together. Because it's like all that stuff has to, be level, and this texture does not make it easy to sand. Oh, let's sand off this top of this boot a little bit too, because it's got some printer wobble on the supports in there. Level images out. Go back and sand that hand yet. Yeah, I like this brand of sandpaper. It's more this. The sheets are smaller than I usually buy, but the waterproofing way better. And since I like to wet sand, that's what I need. It's like that's the first thing that breaks down is the paper backing on the sandpaper when you're wet sanding. You've got some wetness in the mix. This brand, the backing seems pretty solid. It's not shedding sanding material. I was trying to get these little boot edges. These are just a whole bunch of ledges, so you want them to be nice because they're going to catch the light, especially Magneto, and these things are all shiny purple and glossy. This is going to be so good when it's done. I already see it. I just hope what I see in my brain is what comes out in real life. But I guess we'll know in a couple weeks, won't we? This project is probably gonna go a little quick though. I mean, because if I can do a little bit every night. I'll have everything prepped. By Monday night. I actually just got this up. I have everything prepped by tomorrow night, ready for primer. I can do my initial priming, let it dry for a little while, and then go back and check for sanding, check for any more imperfections before I do the final sand. And then when I do the final prime, probably do that all tomorrow night. Then start painting Tuesday. Yeah, start painting Tuesday. I think there's a Valentine's Day coming up. I think that's Wednesday, maybe. So I might skip around a little bit this week, but hey, I'm just gonna stream when I'm on, and I'm gonna stream when I'm working, and not when I'm not. That's kind of how this deal is gonna work. I promised myself streaming became an arduous thing, but I'm just gonna not do it. It doesn't enhance the experience of this, my hobby, then I'm not gonna do it. But it seems to be, so I actually rather enjoy the idea of chatting with people while I'm doing stuff. Ooh. Oh, man, those goggles. I know it's going to take a little while to get there. Today is my first day. But hopefully people will see value in the content. I'm trying to get the support dimples off the top of these buckles. Very, very tiny edge. And I am approaching the end of life of this piece of sandpaper. Alright, there we go. Oh wait, not that gauntlet. That's whatever the boot version of the gauntlet is. What is the boot version of the gauntlet? Oh, I know it has a name. Piece of armor. Of course it would have a name. Little dude, he's way in there. Go. Yeah, see, I try to keep the visible top parts free of the support dimples as much as possible. So stuff like this boot, I orient it so it's like up this way, upright. So that way I don't have support dimples on the tops of the things, and the model itself actually becomes its own support. So this one had very, very, once I put all the supports around the bottom there, once it's stuck to the plate, the rest of it just kind of took care of itself. It's nice. The only place I did have like islands start, is on the tops of these gauntlet boot things, these boot guard things. And so yes, I got some little support dimples on there. Very, very minor though. But for the most part, this print is perfection. Doesn't get much better than that. You can see all the texture in the boots and stuff. It's really nice. suppose I can go ahead and stick that one down because that's pretty even. I do need to shave that key down a little bit because I can feel it hitting at the top. Let's chop it off. Let's do some surgery. What I'm doing here is, just shortening cutting the top off the key so it doesn't hit the bottom. I think is what's happening. This should be it. Yeah, that was it exactly. See, I can feel it now. You can feel when the outside's hitting versus when the inside's hitting. You connected. Look at us making progress. Sorry there, hand. Should probably get his head out of here. Got a couple test heads too for paint testing. But I think I can put this up on a stick. Big. I don't think my sticks are gonna hold them. I do like having a stick move. So, yeah, it's nice. Lollipop head. All right. Blue. That's what I was doing. I was gluing. This down in here. Big old turkey leg. Towards the front there. Also, it's like you don't know where the key makes contact, so you kind of have to put glue inside of the key everywhere. There's always a little bit of wiggle room. Forgetting I gotta hold stuff out here so you guys can see too. I mean, I guess not really. Nobody watching. For the future stream, future people watching this. I hope my work helps. Anybody finding this and you're new to the hobby, first of all, welcome. It is not cheap, and it is time consuming, and it is sometimes frustrating, but it's also extremely satisfying. So struggling with print issues is never a fun day. I had my fair share of those. I finally figured out my printing process, and learned how to work my printers. That's first tip is just like you got to really understand what's going on in there, like peel forces and withdraw times and how to use the software and all that jazz, whatever your software choice is. There's not one better than the other. I prefer Lychee Slicer for my primary software for prepping files. People like Cheat Box. I tried that. But regardless, this is a hobby where you're going to spend some money. So the pro version of Lychee is excellent. I highly recommend it. It's a minimal cost, but totally worth it. And then just learning how to is learning how to use your machines. You know, that's a good first step, and it's often where so many people get really frustrated with this hobby and they start to punch out. Because like dialing in your machine, getting it all calibrated, it takes a while. Sometimes it takes weeks. You know, I hate to be the one to tell you, but sometimes, you know, depending on your schedule or whatever, it's like you got to print these little testers, and you just got to keep printing them until they start to turn out, you know, the way you want. That's how you dial in your time. You got to be very methodical about it, you know, like chart it, you know, like try it 2 seconds, try it 2.2, 2.1, 2. You know, go in an order, go in a spectrum until you find the right exposure times. You're not overexposing your stuff. So many people complain too. It's like, well, it takes 10 hours for a print or whatever. It's like, yeah, but you're talking about thousands of layers. Oh, somebody's knocking. Hold on a second. Yeah, come on in. All right, cool. I'm the supplier of these gloves for the house. Always make some dinner. These gloves do come in handy though, by the way. I love them. I just used them last night to make some chicken satay, and you know, when you're handling a bunch of proteins, it's good to have nice gloves. This is a gigantic leg. Alright. Let's get back to work here. I need to sand. Did I finish sanding that? No. Yeah, I think I'm gonna sand this leg. I'm gonna sand and attach the other leg. And then I'm probably gonna call it a night. Sorry, I'm trying to keep this on camera, but it's gigantic. I don't know where to put my arms in this gigantic turkey leg of a leg. Look at this thing. Hilarious. A little bat. I'm doing it again. The waist socket should be. Oh, that one's filled in actually. Alright, now it's not. It's funny, I had a total failure inside of that keyhole. Holy junk, I can't believe I missed that. So anyway, good news is, it don't matter. It actually probably did me a favor. So now I know at least it's gonna sit in there nice. There we go, yeah. Yeah. So big. Oh yeah, see, I got some rub right here. In this particular instance, I don't think I will put the glue around the keyhole because there is no keyhole. So it's really just going to go around the surface of the model this time. But it should be fine. Alright, let's go ahead and glue this bad boy. Still showing that road. That's fine. Or is it? Knock some supports loose on the inside. Okay, so I know it makes contact up there, so throw a little bit of glue on that side, around the holes here. Try not to get too close to the edge. Try not to get too close to the edge. Yeah, like I said, this keyhole is kind of pointless. Be around the edge of it. Go around the edge here. I decided I didn't need that 2-part epoxy. This Gorilla Glue's never let me down. Last words, right? This is going to be the project that's going to fall apart because I didn't use epoxy. Spill over on the next leg because I'm not going to be able to get in here to wipe the glue out. The other leg has a key that should actually work. All right, there we go. That is half the lower half. Get this logo and this neck thing out of the way here. Made a lot of fun progress today. That's exciting. pieces to sand. Good to go. It's been eerily warm today. It's like my studio. My studio's kind of got a weird humidity to it. I don't like it. Well, I do hope we get to have spring soon, though, because I'm getting sick and tired of the cold snaps, coldness. Or just a nice Georgia spring. Oh, go back. All right, there we go. So let's see here. Oh, that's much better. This key. Goggles. Nippers. And cutting. So we should go ahead and nip this off too while I'm sitting here. You know that's gonna happen. Shake that down a little bit. All right, that should go into that leg hole nicely. So let's check this boot hole. ledges on his boots. Killing me. I forgot to unmute it there. Leg attached. Muscles to line up. Muscle divots. I'm definitely gonna have to readjust these cameras to work on tall stuff. That's crazy. Right up there. Alright, leave parts to dry now with that glue cure. And those holes I got patched up. That stuff dry before another round of production work tomorrow. I think that is it for tonight.